Hey, folks, welcome to the pre-show. Just getting all set up here. Boom, 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 boom. Hope you're all doing well. We're back on YouTube tonight. My channel, anyway. We're also on Subspace channel. Oh, see, I've already got feedback coming because I got it on over there. Let me turn that off. Boom. Grumpy Stack. How you doing, brother? Just getting all set up here. Make sure my stream is on for the radio show. The radio shoe. There we go. Can't be more ready than that. How's tings? Randall Flagg, good to see you. That would be, Grumpy, that would be Booby Scubbards. More appropriate. We are what we eat. No, we are what we, never mind. Bad joke. Can't figure it out. Cravings. Things like that. So I have this little Apple TV tuner. I don't know where I got it because we don't have Apple TV. And it's been sitting in my pen box over here for a year. My daughter said, Ellery said, "What is this?" I go, "It's a tuner for Apple TV or something." I said, "Doesn't do anything around here." She goes, "Oh, okay." And she reaches over and sets it in my water jug. Bloop, and walks off. And I didn't notice it till a little later. I'm like, "Why'd you put that in the water cup?" So I don't know if that's ruined, but I haven't used it for anything. So far, so good, Grumpy Stack. Oh, here we go. We're going live.
The Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent talk.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, one and all. Welcome to the Intrepid radio program. I'm your host, Scotty Roberts. And, I was talking in the pre-show and not minding the time. We got right up to the last second. So just before we had to go live. So I was lucky I got things going. But I'm a professional. Don't try this at home. So how's everybody this evening? Welcome to everybody that's starting to file over into the chat room. We've got Grumpy Stack and Viking Off-Roading Michael. And Barbie D is here. Good to see you. Randall Flagg. Chuck Thurston. He said, put it in a bag of dry ice to dry it out. You know, I tried that, but it gets awfully cold. No. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And we were talking in the pre-show about the little Apple TV tuner I have. And I think it's dried out. And it's in some kind of a plastic case, but the water got in under the case. My daughter, little girl, for no reason, just dropped it into my water jug over here, or water mug. This thing, it's sitting right here, and it had, I was using this for watercolor painting, and I've got paint water in there, and this brush was sitting in there, so she took and she just dropped it right in there. I don't know if she just thought that it was not water or what, but there you go. Hey, Roger Rabbit. Good to see you. Hooray, he's back. Yes, I am back on YouTube as of sometime late this afternoon until another infraction, and I get pulled off of YouTube again. Hopefully not. I'm trying to download all of my videos. I've got 1,011 videos up at YouTube, and primarily 99.9% of them are this show. And so I've been trying, some of those I have archived, the ones where I did pre-records. Remember, I did pre-records for the whole time I was in Louisiana. Well, part of the time I was in Louisiana. And around that time, and when I got back, did a pre-record. We'd throw that up, and then I'd come into the chat room when the show aired. So nobody was even the wiser until I told them, hey, this is pre-recorded, you know. Somebody saw me type something in the chat room. And while I'm talking, they said, "Wow, how do you type like that?" And I said, "Well, it is a pre-recording." And so I used to pre-record just a few hours before the show. And there was a reason I did that. And I could edit. I could edit in the intros. I could edit out the outgoes and all of that. Any ads we had, I edited those in. And it was a clean, smooth flow. But I couldn't talk to you during the show into the chat room. So if I'm not responding to you in the chat room on air, well, it might be that I don't want to. But if there's something said and I miss it, it's because it could be a pre-record. It could be live. It could be a pre-record. Those of you old enough, like I am, I know Chuck is around my age. If you remember that cassette tapes, the Memorex commercials, is it live or is it Memorex? So there you go. Cheers, everybody. As you can tell, if you're watching, this is the new background. Still tweaking it. I've got a little blue light on it. I got to do a little more painting, some decorative painting on it. It's some of my swords, as you can see, are up there in frames on the wall. There you go. And I didn't realize how high that was once I got the camera on it. So if I'm showing the whole thing up there, you got my head down at the bottom, which is very poor composition. So, and there's one more sword down at the bottom there. There it is. So it ends up looking more like that when I've got things composed properly. So we're starting to get set up to go into Patreon. Now, I've had questions. What will happen to the Memorex? You remember that? Barbie D? It was a cassette tapes that you could buy, blank cassette tapes to record things on the old cassette players back in the 70s and the 80s. So I'm getting all set up to start moving this show away from YouTube as the primary source for broadcasting. Well, now that's, of course, excluding the fact that we broadcast an audio over on the radio station at Subspace Odyssey Radio. And so I'm prepping to move this show. I want to get it off of YouTube, where you're constantly worried about whether they're going to nail you for something that you said, where there isn't really a freedom to speak the way you want to speak. You can't even express opinion. And so, as some would say, over the years, as we started complaining about this a few years ago, because it's really started to come into play heavy duty in just the last 5 years-ish. And you said, why are you a company that thrives because of your constitutionally protected rights as citizens here in this country? Why are you thriving as a result of that, but you can't extend the same thing to your members? Now, this is part of why I think they don't charge for you to be on YouTube. They actually pay you for advertising during your show. But they have a right as a corporation to set any kind of rules they want to set, so long as those rules don't violate constitutional rights. Now, can a corporation violate constitutional right? To a certain degree, they can, because the Constitution, say the First Amendment, what the First Amendment guarantees is that the government cannot curtail your speech. The government cannot draw lines on religious rights. The government has to stay away from the press, from silencing the press and the power of the pen. And the government, those are restrictions to protect citizens from the government being able to take away their rights. Never said that a place like YouTube can't take away what would be deemed your First Amendment rights. They can violate that because they're a corporation. They can operate under rules. The only time that changes is when that platform is widespread enough and presents itself as a platform for ideas and opinions, as opposed to being strictly a publisher. And this is where a lot of that controversy came in a few years ago. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you can't do that because you're setting yourself up as an entity that is saying that you provide an opportunity for people to speak their minds, express their opinions, until they violate your narrative, what you want the narrative to be on your site. So there has to be standards. Don't we, by saying no pedophiles allowed, you cannot promote pedophilia on my page or in my posts, isn't that tacitly the same thing? It's me saying I have a standard of operation that you can't, if you break that, you'll be gone. You'll get a warning or two, then you're gone. I do that when I put up posts on social media. I say, look, this is what I believe. You can come in and debate me all you want. And I've said to people several times, I've said, you can say whatever you want. You can speak your mind. I said, but as soon as you either turn abusive toward me, I can handle a lot because I'm the dude putting it out there. So I should be wearing my iron panties. But if you start abusing other people, if you come in trolling for the sole purpose of creating havoc, if you come in and demean other people, name calling, all of that, I said, you'll be gone. I'll ban you. And then you don't get to post on my posts. If you want to come in and have decent dialogue, you can. Now, I've never told anybody you can't speak your political ideology, even if it's in opposition to what I'm presenting. But be prepared to debate it. Be prepared to talk about it. And so, in a sense, that's doing the same thing that we complain about YouTube and Facebook and some of these other places that do this stuff. That put these stringent rules and regulations on people where they violate things. It's like even with the idea of separation of church and state, a church might believe in one particular presidential candidate, let's use that just as a hypothetical. They support the guy that supports religious rights or their conservative religious rights. But as soon as the church becomes a pulpit for not just disseminating religious and spiritual information, but political information, they start to border that line of losing their tax-free status in America because they're becoming political as opposed to just spiritual or religious. Now, who's the one that's going to govern that? Who's going to say, oh, your spirituality level is here and your political level is here, but oh, you flipped it. Now your political level has gone up a little higher than the spirituality, so we're going to dox you or dock you points or whatever. It's hard to measure that. So there is pretty much we try to stick with in America. If you're a church, you can say what you want to say, unless you become a political organization. So this is why movements like Jerry Falwell's Moral Majority, he was a pastor of a Baptist church in Lynchburg, Virginia, and he was a good pastor. I attended his church a few times when I lived out there. The Moral Majority, while it could spill over into his ministry, they had to keep that very separate. Even though he was the head of the political organization, he was also a pastor. So he had a television show, the Old Time Gospel Hour, if you remember that, from when you were a kid. If you ever bounced over that on TV when you were a kid, back in the 70s and the 80s. So I actually worked for them for a little while. I was working for an ad agency or a graphics house out there. And when I left them, I went over to the Old Time Gospel Hour. I got hired by them and worked for them for a while. So this is what you have with Larry Flynt. I saw somebody say, Field Guy says, Larry Flynt defeated him. Yeah, he did. So Larry Flynt, if all of you remember that. Let's see. Field Guy said, I had a customer curse me out the other day, and I chose not to be insulted by you since your words mean nothing to me. Oh, there you go. I use the I choose not to be insulted by you because your words mean nothing to me. Sir, if I have to be insulted by you, I must first respect your opinion. And I don't like the whole thing of the customer is always right. To a degree they are, but when a customer crosses the line, the customer can be wrong too. So I've never quite fully subscribed to that field guy because if I have a customer come in and start swearing at me, I might deal with it tactfully. If I had them continue to be like, if I had one of those, like remember the videos of that big tranny guy who came in and he started slapping he's a big guy, like an old football player or something. And he started slapping around the clerk because the clerk didn't use the proper pronoun for him. At that point, I think there are also bullies that can be trannies too. I mean, you got guys that are clearly men that the whole thing about the swimming competitions with Riley, what's her name? And I can't remember her name off the top of my head. That made a big, no pun intended, splash in the news a few months ago, where you've got men who are obviously bigger, stronger, different form of bodies and so on, are trouncing women because they claim to be, oh, I'm a woman inside now. And so I can join the women's swim team. And um, it was a guy like that, a big guy in those videos that would come into the store and the guy used the wrong pronoun and he started slapping people around and pushing things over. I wouldn't let that take place. I wouldn't go, yes, sir, the customer's always right. Please, let me show you to the door. Maybe you should come back when you're a little happier. But no, I would probably punch him in the face. So, or take him down or something. And so, yeah, customer's not always right. And when it comes to this whole swimming thing, I heard it put a very good way today about the man on the women's swimming team claiming that he's a woman and winning awards and stealing away all the awards. There is no greater demonstration of misogyny than for a man to claim he's a woman and engage in women's sports and beat them all and actually steal their place. Women's sports were created and exist for a reason. And are there some women out there that could beat the shit out of a man? Sure. But for the most part in these sports, they can't outrun them. They can't outswim them. They can't outlift them. And because men have bigger, I don't even know the right words to use for it, the right descriptive words. Men can, I'm not going to go to the men can do certain things better than women. It's not about better. It's about what the body is capable of doing. And so, why did he win the first prize in the women's swimming? Because he's a guy. So I let it go because it was a woman. Oh, I understand you, field guy. Yeah, I get that. And women yell at me. I just say when that happens, you use the ma'am. You got to calm down. Please calm down. And the worst I'll get is I got into a verbal altercation with a woman at the public park a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, because her son, roughly the same age as a little older than my daughter, Ellery, 4 years older, put her in a headlock, threw her to the ground, and was because he said, well, she hit me on the head with her water bottle. She hit him on the head with an empty plastic water bottle because he took it and his friends and they threw it into the boys' bathroom. They kept stealing her stuff from her and throwing it around. She finally went in and retrieved it on her own and hit him on the head with it on the way out. She didn't it wasn't like a big, whack, and take him down. She just thunked him on the head as she walked out of the bathroom. He grabbed her, put her in a headlock. An 11-year-old grabbing an 8-year-old girl in a headlock and threw her to the ground, cut up her knees and her shins. And so I got into an altercation with his mom. Didn't start as an altercation. Yeah, muscle capacity. There you go, field guy. Didn't start as an altercation. It started with, are you this boy's mom? I got to tell you what happened. And she launched into me right away. Well, your daughter hit him on the head with a plastic bottle. She assaulted him. And I said, well, let's not use the assault word quite yet. I said, kids are kids and kids do things. I said, thunking somebody on the head with a water bottle is a far cry from choking them and throwing them to the ground. And I said, especially when you got a boy versus a girl that's 3-4 years younger than he is. And a second grader versus a fourth or a fifth grader. And and she just started yelling. Then her teenage son, who was obviously a high schooler, tall, and so on, he starts swearing at me and just walks off. He's going to let his mom do her fight with me, but he said, you're so full of bullshit and this, and then he walks away. And I said, excuse me? And I looked at him and I said, I'm an adult. I said, and I'm not a school teacher. I said, so I'm going to confront you on that. And I said, if you're going to talk to me that way, I said, maybe your mom needs to get involved. And she starts yelling at me for going off on her child. You got in his face. And this is the one I told you the story when it happened. She came up to me and she's got her whole body literally pressed up against me. She was, pardon me for anybody that doesn't like this language, it's just descriptive. It could be comedic if you let it be. She was a little stouter, tubby, huge boobs because she's tubby, and foul mouth. I would have looked at her by the way she was dressed, the blue color of her hair that she had dyed. She's maybe about a 40-year-old woman, and blue hair, and the way she's dressed, and the language coming out of her mouth, the way she's yelling at me in public, the way her sons acted, combined with physical appearance. And I would have said, this is this dumpy, foul-mouthed, trailer trashy woman, is the way she came across to me. And so she's got her body pressed up against my body, screaming at me. And I said, ma'am, I said, you need to take a step backward. I said, you're talking about assault out of one side of your mouth, and you're pushing your body up against me with with the other side of your whole body. And I don't have to do anything. I don't have to back off. You're assaulting my son. You're verbally assaulting my son. I go, wow, you're really into the woke language, aren't you? I said, you haven't seen verbal assault from me yet. And of course, blah, 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 that kind of thing. These are the things that I don't even know how I slipped into that particular illustration again, of the things that men and women and language and blah, 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 blah. You get it. I'm a Scotty troll, says Grumpy Stack. Yes, he is. Can't get rid of these obnoxious trolls. Grumpy lives under a bridge in an old tire, I hear. So, Field Guy said, I had a customer curse me out. Okay, I saw that one. I'm looking at some of the chat going on here. And Larry Flint defeated him. Customers are dead wrong once the shop is closed. Oh, well, damn straight, Randall. They can be dead wrong when the shop is open. So, Field Guy said, I let it go because it's a woman, muscle capacity. There are crazy people out there that can't be reasoned with. They don't listen to logic. Ain't that the truth? Hey, Joseph of Borg. Good to see you, brother. Been a long time. Glad you are here. Anita Palmer says, when did lose respect for each other? When did people lose respect for each other? Are you talking in general, Anita? I don't know. I think I've talked about this before. This right here is why people lose respect for each other. Because this is what they become. They bury their face in their phones, and they're like, you asshole, fucker, blah, 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 blah. And then, they can do that from the relative and anonymity of the sidelines. Because when you have to confront somebody face to face, you've got to be a real person. You can't. And what tends to happen with the younger people is they think, I have more young kids that talk to me out of disrespect. Sometimes my own kids. I look at my kids sometimes and I say, hey, I am not talking to you from the internet, and I am not some grimy little dumbass kid that you bump into the hallway at school. I'm your dad, and you will talk to me with the respect that is due to your parent. I said, or you will pay the consequences. I said, you don't have to like me right now. You don't have to like what I'm telling you to do, but you better damn well respect what I say, or there will be consequences. There will be hell to pay. And hell's coming with me. So I'm coming for you. So, yeah, I am a firm believer that people need to act respectable and in personal responsibility. Have I done dumbass things in my life? Yeah. Have I done things that lack responsibility and taking possession or ownership of my personal responsibility? I sure have. That's why I've learned as much as I've learned over the years. Maybe that's where wisdom comes from. Doing so much dumbass stuff throughout the course of your life that the light bulb finally goes on and you go, oh, wait a minute, that thing. And so I speak out of what I know, especially to my kids. Chuck Thurston in the chat room says, people have no respect for others. People who have no respect for others usually have no self-esteem themselves. They're overcompensating. This is very true. That's that whole projecting thing. I think that there are a lot of people who, when they have arguments and stuff like that, it's not usually because, when my wife and I argue, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. And I was going to say, did that need a stronger word? No, sometimes is good enough. We'll be talking, and you can't say this when you're in mid-argument, but, I think a lot of the stuff she said, it's projecting. You're projecting on me what you actually do or what doesn't please you or doesn't make you happy. And she might think the same thing of me, except I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I'm easy to get along with. My wife is, I would say she was raised as kind of a take charge person, and she likes to be the boss as an adult woman. And she will take and perceive things I do as being either detached and she's got a perspective. We'll get on and talk about this one of these days. That's what Sunday mornings we're supposed to do. And then she got very involved in scouts and stuff and other things. And she doesn't like sitting here and just being a silent person in here. I've got to keep her engaged. Otherwise, she feels like everybody else is talking over her and so on. So she doesn't come in quite as often as she used to. But I can control that on here. If I say, Uncle Dave, shut up. She's talking. Don't start a new topic. She's mid-sentence or so on. Things like that. Uncle Dave has a lot to say, by the way. That's why I'm saying that. And see, look how easy it is to offend somebody. Uncle Dave won't take offense because, like me, he doesn't let the small things sweat him. But just to be clear, sometimes Uncle Dave has a lot to say and he wants to say it. And he'll talk right over me sometimes. I'm like, hey, I'm in the room. I'm mid-sentence. So, Uncle Dave, you out there? You listening? Hi, Aisha. Soiree. Good to see you. Elvis is in the building. So, good to see you all over in the chat room. And so, all of that kind of stuff, respect for other people, I think, as Chuck Thurston was talking about, I blame social media a bit. My kids act the way they act sometimes because I think they glean it off of social media. So many of these sites that kids are watching on YouTube, they have video after video after video after video after video. And these kids are doing one thing respectable. They're putting up these videos and they're making millions of dollars. There's one site that had all the little Disney toys, and they got the permission from Disney because Disney liked it because it was promoting their toys. But they would take the toys, and you'd only see their hands ever, and they would take all the toys and play and all of this. And then the parents got involved, and the quality bumped up a little bit. And they're unpackaging toys and playing and show them how to set them up and all that. And doing the little voices. Oh, hi there. Hi, Chuck Thurston. And, they're doing all of that stuff. And they literally have millions of views of these. And my kids, when they were a little bit younger, would watch these things one after the other after the other. And I was like, no wonder. I said, maybe we ought to start doing, toy shows or something. And then as my kids grew older, some of these other kids grew older, and they started doing, like high school and college age stuff and things like that. And my kids will watch this stuff. What you think is supposed to be kind of innocent stuff and innocent talk and chatter, there's sometimes we're standing out, and Rainey and I are out talking in the kitchen or something, and we'll hear suddenly, there's words that stand out. My kid's in there watching some videos on the main TV, and somebody says, "You just like me for my cleavage and my pussy, right?" And I went, "What are you watching out there?" And I look, and it's the same. It's the college kids who do the balloon pranks and pull pranks on each other. They're talking like that. They're talking about sleeping with each other and pregnancy. Don't get me pregnant and stuff. And I'm like, my kids, you don't need to watch that. And we pull the plug on that stuff. I think this is where kids learn that. And on some of these videos, I've seen these kids talking back to their parents, making their parents look dumb and so on. So I think a lot of this stuff can come from that. There's a biblical verse that pops into my head. Evil communications corrupt good manners. I don't know what the passage is off the top of my head to look it up. But if I were to look that up, I'm curious to know what that says in modern idiom. That's kind of the King James. Let's see for a second here if I can find it. Evil communications corrupt good manners. I want to see what this says. This is 1 Corinthians 15:33. So if I go take a look at this, the verse says in the King James Bible, this traditional 1611 King James, it says, "Be not deceived, evil communications corrupt good manners." Now, if I were to look at this in a different version, say the NIV, the New International Version. Let me see if I can change it here, right here. So if I look at that same verse in the New International Version, it says 1:15. Be not where is it? Where is it? Be not misled. Bad company corrupts good character. Come back to your senses as you ought, and stop sinning, for there are some who are ignorant of God, and I say this to your shame. And so this comes right after that verse that we all misquote. We've all heard it a million times. It says he's talking about how they acted in Ephesus, Paul, who wrote this letter. And he says, "Now, if there is no resurrection, what will those do who are baptized for the dead? If the dead are not raised at all, why are people baptized for them? And as for us," and he's making a case for resurrection, he says, "why do we endanger ourselves every hour? I face death every day. Yes, just as surely as I boast about you in Christ Jesus our Lord. If I fought wild beasts in Ephesus with no more than human hopes, what have I gained? And if the dead are not raised, let us eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character." So now the NIV is just simply a New International translation of the same verses. So I'm curious, though, to see. There was one I like to use called The Message. Let's see if they've got that listed in here. It's not a commentary. I liked The Message, and it was done by Eugene. No, I can't think of his name. His last name. But he did a version of the Bible that translates the original text from the languages that were used in the earliest manuscripts we can find, and he's interpreted those things into modern idiom, which makes it much easier. Here, I'm going to find it. There was another site that I know that has it. I'm going to look it up over here. Bible Gateway is one of them. Here's the King James Version. Let's look for the Message. Okay, here it is in modern idiom. It says this. That same course of verses I read, it says, "And why do you think," Paul says, "I keep risking my neck in this dangerous work? I look death in the face practically every day I live. Do you think I do this if I would do this if I wasn't convinced of your resurrection and mine as guaranteed by the resurrected Messiah, Jesus? Do you think I was just trying to act heroic when I fought the wild beasts at Ephesus, hoping it wouldn't be the end of me? Not on your life. It's resurrection, resurrection, always resurrection that undergirds what I do and say, the way I live. If there's no resurrection, we simply eat, drink, and the next day we die. And that's all there is to it." Now here's the verse. "But don't fool yourselves. Don't let yourselves be poisoned by this anti-resurrection loose talk. Bad company ruins good manners." So that's the point I was making, was that I think our kids nowadays can be, if we aren't watchful of what they take in, it's all about bad communications or bad company. Surrounding ourselves with bad communication, bad company, as it actually translates. Evil communications just means the people you communicate with, that you hang with, that you learn from, that you bounce things off of, in actual literal translation of the Greek there. And so evil communications or bad company can corrupt your good manners. Sarah Yusuf says, "All that we do now is in preparation for the hereafter." Yeah, kinda. That's what we do. So what is the meaning of life as a human being on this planet? According to the theology I came out, Christian theology, is in preparation for the life afterwards, which we don't really know exists other than by faith. Boy, you just morphed the whole topic a bit, Sarah. But I think they all go hand in hand. Hey, Michelle Canham Free over in the chat room. Good to see you. Michelle Canham Freedom. Anita Palmer says, "My mom had flip-flops and would have me by one arm and spanking me with the other and lecture at the same time." Yeah, my mom did that when we were little enough, until we started, "I laugh at your faint spankings." That would irritate her more than anything. Of course, she was a learning mom too. She was very young. She's 17 or 18 years older than I am. So when I was 10, she was 27, 28 years old. And so still a kid if there's any of you out there that's still in your 20s, I'm sorry, you're all kids to me now at my age. But when my mom was a kid with 3 kids, there was a time we caught on. It's like, "Mom, you can't spank me hard enough. And I'm not afeared enough to not block your blows or to move or to smirk at you when you try to spank me." You know what stung more? Being grounded. Can't go anywhere. So here, let me take a drink. Wet my throat. So I want to talk a little bit. I'm going to change topics dramatically. I am moving this show over to Patreon. I'm taking it off of YouTube. Now, the YouTube will still exist. I'm going to do snippets and clips and put them up there. I'll do special things every now and then and put them over on YouTube. Now, we've got a handful of people who have paid for memberships over there. And I got asked today because I put up the ad for the link to my Patreon site, which is a strictly pay site. You can go over to Patreon, and the things that I don't mark free, which is going to be most broadcasts, this broadcast will eventually in a very short time, be something that you can only get if you become a patron over on my page at Patreon. And I'm charging $4 a month for that. And so somebody did ask, Well, does that mean if you're doing your shows over there now, I paid for a membership over on YouTube? What about that? Oh, it still exists. I'm still going to do stuff on YouTube, but I'm moving the bulk of my show over to Patreon. And I'm looking for ways to not have to ask you all, hey, will you contribute? I feel like a church sometimes. The offering plate's going to come by with Brother Joseph. Be sure to drop in, dig deep, and for the Lord, and for the Lord's, so I don't want to do that. And I don't like doing that. But I'm trying to find ways to make this show Hopefully I will have sound. Is this still plugged in?
I don't know if that's plugged up.
That should be right there.
Yeah,
Testing 1, 2. There we go.
the whole thing.
Do we have sound now, folks? Somehow we got unplugged. Faintly. It says faintly.
Oh,
Okay, why have I got, I'm getting
Dave
no
can hear you.
levels.
Dave can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me clearly? Because I'm getting no level. There it goes. Now I'm getting some. Testing.
Hear
There
you
it goes.
clearly. You can hear you.
Testes 1, 2. Testes 3, 4.
All right.
Ah, there she is, all washed out in the light. She's a ghost.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Uncle Dave. Somewhere along the way, something got unplugged. My whole soundboard over here was unplugged. So sorry about that, folks. I don't know at what point you lost me, but Uncle Dave called in. He called Rainey and said that my phone was upstairs. She had my phone. So she came running down here. Hi, Rainey, says Kelly Bell. So I don't know where you lost me, and I don't know what I was talking about. Probably when I was talking about the Patreon site. Did you all hear me talking about Patreon and moving the show to Patreon? Or did it blow out before that? Chuck rhymes with, says Michelle Cannon-Free. So, right when I said moving the show to Patreon, that's interesting. Yeah, my whole system was unplugged. It's one of those round cords, round plugs with the pins inside that plugs into the back of the soundboard. That came unplugged. Don't ask me how. None of the wires were under the wheels of my chair or anything. So, anyway, there we go. If everybody can hear me now, I'm happy. YouTube sabotage. Yeah, they sent gremlins out. So sorry about the lack of sound. Scintillating live radio, folks. Scintillating. Scintillating in one respect that you sometimes worry that everything's going to work. So somewhere along the way, it got unplugged. It could have been just, I moved the whole office around, the studio around. My desk used to be perpendicular to this, going this way, right in front of me. And that was my back wall over there. Here, you can see. If I were to swing this about, see, there's the old, that's where the desk was, backing up to that. And now I've turned it all around the corner here, and we're over here. We painted up this wall. And that wall I might put a green screen on eventually. So that's what happened. And somewhere along the way, moving all these cords and all my sockets and all my junk all around, I obviously, I didn't unplug it or I wouldn't have been able to broadcast the show tonight. So ghosts in the machine, says Aisha, and that's it. So pardon the technical snafu. At least Uncle Dave was out there. Thanks for calling, Uncle Dave. So, yeah, check my closets, really. I do have a scrim up over there. What might be behind the scrim? That's a good question. So we're getting close. No, we've got, what do we got? We got 11 minutes left on the show. Yeah, 11 minutes on the radio before we leave the radio station. So there it is. We're moving over to Patreon. I'm moving the bulk of the effort to Patreon. I'm still making sure that everybody can hear us and join in the chat room. And it might be that the captain's cabin is something that I've got to find a way to say, I'd like to have the Patreon it's not worth anything if you can get it free somewhere else. So all people will do is look for the free site. I suppose that's like, certain things on television nowadays. You're watching it. You're paying to see that on Discovery Plus. Well, you know what? You can go to Peacock and see it for free or whatever. So you just got to wait several weeks. So, but I want to have a way to do the show where we still have the live chat room. So I'm working that all out. I got to find out what the limitations are on live streaming over there. But I wanted to get the Patreon set up. And all the Patreon is, if you didn't catch this earlier, it's set right now for $5. I'm going to bring it down to $4 a month is the base that you can put in. and you get, what do you get for that value? You get 3 shows a week, new shows a week. There's going to be a bunch of archives I'm going to start putting up so it shows that there's content, not just me going, hi, welcome to my Patreon. I don't have any shows yet, but if you want to contribute, we'll build it. I want to just show that there's a track record. So I'm going to start putting up a bunch of past shows, some more recent ones, some from 4 years ago and beyond that maybe some of you haven't even heard. I might put up some of the episodes from the Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee series that we did and all of those. But it's to build a presence over there so people can come in and realize there is value to what we do. Is it free? The only reason public radio is free, your AM and FM radio in your car is free, because those stations are all commercial stations. They all sell advertising. You got to listen to your advertising to pay to hear. That's how you pay to play. That's where they make their money. They charge their money to advertisers, not to end users. Now, if I had advertisers, if I was selling advertising for this show, a show my size, you can sell little bits and pieces. It'd be more like all of you, if you want, if you've got businesses and things, charge you, $15 an episode or something like that to play your ad. That is easy to do, but you don't want to fill up the whole broadcast with ads. So like you go on, you ever listen to Coast to Coast? When I've been on Coast to Coast, and I've been on for 3-hour slots, and I would say only about half of that time am I actually on air, because they run a lot of ads. They need those ads to support the cost of putting that show out and keeping it popular. So the ones you probably don't want me to do, Sarah. Oh, that's Field Guy talking to Sarah. And what topics do y'all enjoy? Asks Sarah Yusuf. Anita says, will Robertson go there as well? I think we might bring Robertson, maybe. Because it adds value to the whole thing. I'll talk to Wendy about that. She may want to set up her own Patreon for Wicked Women and maybe run Robertson through there. I don't know what we'll do. Robertson may just stand as an independent show over on the YouTube channel. So if you are paying in both places, if you have paid to have a membership over at YouTube, I know there's only a couple in the highest bracket, which is $15 a month. And the most are at the $1 a month or $4.99 a month. Hopefully this show is worth it, that you don't have to go, oh, do I give my $4 to Patreon or my $4 to YouTube? Boy, I don't know. That's a real toss-up here. Money's tight, And I hope that there's enough value in this show that if you've already got a membership over there, you're okay with putting the cost of another half a cup of coffee at Starbucks into the Patreon. So that's kind of the way I look at it. So Grumpy Stack, there is my sponsors. Oh, wait. Set me up as a Patreon for Grumpy Arse. There you go. Grumpy Arse Patreon. YouTube will never get my money, says Field Guy. Well, it wasn't supposed to go to them. It was supposed to go to me. They just take their cut. So Claudette is on Melaspina. Is that how you say your last name? Malespina or Melaspina? Hey, Scotty and everyone. Just got in. I hope everyone's doing amazing. I'm doing amazing, Claudette. I'm so glad you're here. That's very cool. Dave Potter says, Uncle Dave says you'll waste more time or more money on coffee in a day than you do watching this show. Pay the money and watch the show. Thank you, Dave. Dave is the head of marketing and advertising here at Intrepid Radio. Well, that's what I donate through PayPal. I appreciate that, Field Guy. And I appreciate everything you all do for this show very much. And what I try to do, don't think I'm not being greedy asking for $4 a month. I can tell you that. What if I only get 12 followers? What is that? That's $48 a month. Woo! That might cover a tank of gas once a week. But Deducts $4 out of the hooker budget now, says Feel Guy Nice. But keep in mind, what I'm trying to do is set up a situation where I can dedicate more effort and time to this program. And we can put more into it. Maybe re-expand it to 5 days a week. Expand the number, instead of 1 hour, do 2 hours, and then the captain's cabin. If I could do that, if I could afford to take the time to do that, I would. And so by putting it in Patreon, what it's doing is not just he's lining his greedy pockets, Smithers. Excellent. No, I'm trying to find a way to create a revenue stream to make this a better show. And I hate to say it, we're out of time over on radio. Join us over on stay on the YouTube for the Captain's Cabin. And until then, I'm going to say very quickly a good night to the radio audience. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the Captain's Cabin. Live long and prosper.
Join us every weeknight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. The Intrepid Radio Program, a Scotty Roberts Productions broadcast.
Hey folks, this is Scotty Roberts, and this is the Intrepid radio broadcast. I've been broadcasting for about 20 years now, covering such topics as science, politics, the paranormal, weird science, weird world history, archaeology, and the paranormal. Everything from ghosts to cryptids to creepy things that go bump in the night. So every week I bring you 3 new episodes. Come and join my channel and also be a patron to this site. So see the details below, and we'll see you here. Hey folks, we're live. That little clip there was the clip that I put up on my Patreon site to invite people, entice them to come and listen to the show. Hopefully that was enticing enough. And so, and we'll from time to time have some free stuff up over there too, so people can see it, whet their appetites. So welcome to the Captain's Cabin tonight. Thanks for putting up with everything. My little sound glitch a little earlier. Somehow my soundboard came unplugged. And I didn't realize. I don't get a flash of red light or something like that. Just Uncle Dave who called in, and he's here too. Dave, you going to come on camera, or we got to talk to your icon tonight? Oh, there he is. There he is. He shook his head no, and his icon came back on. So I don't know if that means we don't have to talk to his icon, or no, he's not coming on camera tonight. So maybe he hasn't beautified himself today. All I saw was the face of a gorgeous, godly-like man pop on for a second, about this big, shaking his head. He had the big mustache. So I don't know what that actually meant. So let's bring him in anyway. Hey, Uncle Dave. How you doing?
I've been sick for a week, so you don't want. Nobody wants to look at me tonight.
Okay. Well, I was going to bring you in because I got to pee like a racehorse.
So that's fine. I was just going to say that. So I don't know if you ever watched Chativersity, if that ever comes across your thing.
No.
He's a British guy that does sword stuff, talks about swords and armor and various things like that.
I haven't seen it.
He did a live thing today. One of his good friends, who I also follow, who is a historian who's working on his master's or maybe his PhD, does various topics on ancient history and things. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of YouTube episodes that he's put up over the years. Completely demonetized all of his stuff by YouTube unexpectedly yesterday because he did a program because of all the kerfuffle over the new Cleopatra series as to what's the shade of Cleopatra's skin. And all he did was discuss all the historic relevance of she was from North Africa. She could have had this tone of skin or that tone of skin. We don't know for sure. All we know are
the fact that she came from Grecian blood.
Right, but basically he just listed all the historical evidence as to who she was, where she was from, and what his thoughts were. Plus he had done an episode on what the status was of the LGBTQ whatever population was in ancient Greece and ancient Rome and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
Just going off of actual records and things that we actually know based on hard science and history. Okay. And they put out this thing. They one of the things they demanded of him is that they suspected that he was broadcasting under fraud, and they wanted to see his credentials. Are you really a historian? Like what? Look at all the things that are out there on YouTube that talk about history. I've never seen anybody have to prove their credentials that they're a historian. And there are plenty of people. There's a guy that I watch from England too that also does swords and armor stuff. And I don't know that he has a degree in history. He's a living historian. He does reenactment. He does all that stuff and such. And he's a jouster, but I don't know that he has a PhD from Cambridge or something. And what would that matter? If his information is accurate, what the hell? Who cares? What it comes down to is it doesn't fit their
narrative.
Their narrative of what they want to put out there. And so all of his stuff overnight canceled out.
Now, I've run into this before with my own books. I got like the whole Jason Colavito's site and all those people criticizing me for what I'd written about in my books. You're not even a historian. You're an artist. And you have no degree. You have no history degree. How dare you claim to be a historian? I said, well, let's look up the definition of the word historian. You look it up online right now, Oxford language, a definition from Oxford languages. A historian is a person who studies and writes about the past and is regarded as an authority on it. Regarded as an authority, not degreed or credentialed as an authority. Historians are concerned with the continuous methodological narrative and research of past events as relating to the human race, as well as the study of all history and time. And then that was the Wikipedia definition, which surprisingly isn't woke. And then historian, according to Oxford, is an expert in or a student of history, especially that of a particular period, geographical region, or social phenomenon. So
what about the Native Americans and their storytellers? They told their tribes history.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't see no doctor in any teepee.
Yeah, you don't have to have letters behind your name
to
be an historian.
Look at it from this standpoint too. So by the definitions of what they're looking for, someone who has a PhD or a master's or something, somebody who's read a whole bunch of book and has that stuff in their head. Well, I've read hundreds of books on histories, on specific points in history, and am very well versed in it.
Yeah.
I bet I could go toe to toe with anyone with a master's or a PhD in my area of history that I know.
And I told stories of, talking to somebody who's a PhD in history. And he was trying to take me down a few pegs online in public because I didn't know what he knew. And how dare you call yourself an historian? I'll bet you don't even know what this and this and this means. And I happen to know what those things meant. And I said, well, if you're talking about this and this and this, I said, then unless you're talking about something different, doesn't that mean this? Well, I'm surprised. You must have stumbled on that by accident.
Hell, even a broke clock strike twice a day.
That's right.
I get that, I studied a lot of military history, but I don't have any PhD behind my name or whatever. I'm working on the BA.
Yeah. And you know what?
John.
I don't have a degree in history. I studied for obtaining my degree in history, my master's in history. And the master's was more focused on theology, but history was part of it.
And so the history of anything, the history of Star Trek, Star Wars.
Yeah.
I know
exactly.
People
so I said to these guys, I said, I don't have a degree in history. I said, that doesn't mean I know less than you know. I've been researching and studying for 35 years since I was in college. I said, so I do know a little bit of something. And I said, by definition, a historian, I don't see anywhere in there where it says you have to have a credentialed degree. And so that
it doesn't say anything about that in YouTube either when you sign up to do a channel.
No, it doesn't. And so, and unless you're misrepresenting yourself, saying, I have a doctorate in theology, and so I'm going to speak about theology. If you don't have a doctorate, you might run into some problems, and you might have to do a little mea culpa. Well, folks, I don't really have a doctorate. I've said that. Hopefully, you'll still listen to my show.
Not everyone can be Professor Bauer.
That's right.
Hey, I got my
and
doctorate
so
in the
I also look at it. Some of these same guys that were arguing with me, you should stick to your day job and be an illustrator, not a historian. Not because they could find anything wrong with what they said, but because it differed from what they wanted to put forward.
These are the same kind of historians, though, that say you can't fire a musket more than twice in a minute or whatever. And I'm like, well, I beg to differ. I've done it
3 times a minute, load it and fire it. But the point I made with them is I said, you tell me to go to my day job. I said, because they were calling me a fake historian, a fraudulent historian. I said, well, I don't have a degree in art, yet that's where my living comes from. I said, I've been doing that at the time. I said, I've been doing this for 30 years. I said, does that mean my art is all fraudulent and fake? I said, is that logo I just designed for that guy a fake fraudulent logo because I don't have a degree
Oh no,
in
they
art?
even said Hunter Biden is an artist. They're
Oh,
getting
yeah.
$750,000.
Yeah. So anyway, those arguments all fall flat. There is
Yeah.
no definition.
So, anyways, I was just saying, you're not alone. This other
Yeah.
guy, well credentialed and everything, got lambasted just because he spoke against their narrative.
And oh my God, Dr. John Ward. He's not a real doctor. He's a doctor that was conferred on him from the Knights Templar of Britannia. He doesn't have his doctorate in archaeology. And he said that many times over the years, and these same people that were coming down on me, and John Ward, he's a fake doctor. Well, no, he's a conferred doctorate. I have a conferred doctorate. You never hear me tout it. I don't say I'm Dr. Scott Roberts.
Oh, I would.
Sometimes what's that?
I would if I were you.
Yeah, I would. I don't, because people go, "Oh, what's your doctorate in?" It's conferred. So I have a conferred PhD, not a PhD, a conferred doctorate, but I don't ever use that title because I don't want people to conflate it with what I do. And so my point being with that is that we all got criticism, but you know what? John Ward's got a TV show, not a regular show, but he's regular appearances on a couple of Nat Geo series. He's called upon quite a bit. They filmed a lot of stuff over there on Gebel El Silsila.
Yeah.
He's calling right there.
Who's calling? Is that my phone?
No, that's mine.
Okay.
Yeah, give me a
Right
second.
on
Let me mute this, and I'll be right back.
So
You
you
know,
don't have to have, but you know what I do have to
I don't
have?
have my degree, but I look at the fact that, like, when sitting on Maria and John's porch that one night, and John brings out this box and lays out this box of basically fabric scraps, and he says, "Do you know what this is?" And I pick it up, I look at it, and I go, "Is this Lindsay Woolsey?" Which is like an incredibly rare fabric. And Maria's like, "It is Lindsay Woolsey. How did you know that?" I know of it. I've never actually held it before. It's a blend of linen and
degrading it
wool.
with my skin oil and DNA.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave
but
and Field
they were
Guy
the sleeves
and
from
Dr.
Napoleon
Feelgood,
shoulders.
you guys take over for a minute.
Go
I
pee.
have to
Go pee. Go pee.
I have to
Wish
talk
that I
like
could.
Ken.
Go
I'm
pee.
going to take a commercial break.
Go do it. Go
So,
do it.
All right.
Commercials,
I'll be right back.
How you doing, Field Guy? Hey, Michael.
Hey, yeah.
Doing good.
Are you a real Dr. Feelgood, or is that just a firm title?
Oh yeah, no. He was appointed to me, transcontinental. So I'm a doctorate in many countries.
Whoa, Uncle Dave kicked out.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Oh Lord. Hey, at least leave it to the two amateur OBGYNs here. That's all I tell them. You know, I'm not a real OBGYN, but I'm semi-professional. I'll take a look at it.
I misspelled it on purpose.
Hey, it is what it is.
I'd like to say Elvis is tuning in because he loves the Saints. That's his favorite team, by the way.
Yeah, could be.
Yes. I'll do a promo for my streams.
Oh,
That's exactly what I do on my live streams. There is no topic.
Yeah, somebody said
Serious people don't need to appear on the streams. It's just casual. Casual. Ah, I'm already pissed off Sarah. I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
The master Scotty went to the bathroom. Somebody's got to take over the show.
That's it. And we would add you in, Sarah, but we don't have no button for that. But yeah, there's a puppy behind me.
Roof, roof. So let's see.
Say hi.
So
Say hi.
doggy. There we go.
Yeah, doggy.
No, you have to get my sense of humor, Sarah. I don't mean it like that, but just have to learn my sense of humor.
Yeah, let me back up there.
If Steph was here, she would explain it. Barbara knows my sense of humor.
Yeah.
I did a 4-hour live stream the other day.
Yeah, Lord. Yeah, y'all got that kind of internet down there in the bayou?
Yeah, I have Spectrum.
Yeah. 2 pop lights holding up. You
Hmm?
can raise viewerships of puppies. Yes, you can.
Dog videos and cat videos, like puppy videos, they go through the roof. But they go
She wants her 5 minutes of camera time. That's it. She's not picky. She's not get off. Long she has a pillow and a blanket, she's good. I tell people I don't need to lock my door. They say, "Why is that?" I said, "You come in and start messing with the queen's, standard of living." I said, "You might see a different dog." Oh, she said, "I know nothing of your show." He sits in his underwear and eats fanny wearing a baseball cap.
I tried the underwear. No, the ladies tried to get me underwear once. I'm like, I don't know now.
He said, "What's underwear?" They don't have them. Oh, dog's name is Mala. It means strength in some language. Everybody knows that she's the queen. The queen runs the castle. And the other one is Poseidon. He's my male.
See,
He's 8 months old. He's bigger than my female, so
Roger
Still,
knows what's up.
yeah. High tens and some bell wire to rig his TV antenna in the
Roger
back.
done seen the setup.
Hey, he that's how all the aliens come with.
He ain't that far off. Wait, let me see if I can do it over my shoulder. He ain't that far off. You see? Wait, hold on.
Damn,
See the antenna?
I was gonna say, damn, oh, easy. It's not a stainless steel one, okay. But anywho.
Hopefully the alien noise don't pop up.
Yeah, the alien, yeah. That looks like something they probed him with from his last abduction.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, that's usually what we find.
I'll pull up the 8-track somewhere.
8-track. You know what? I bought a truck one time that had an AM radio with a CB and an 8-track player. Factory.
That's cool. I have 2 8-tracks.
I still stick with vinyl.
I have some of those somewhere too.
Yeah.
I have a record player somewhere over there. I just don't have a needle for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody needs a good puppy. I tell them if they don't like dogs, something's wrong with them.
I've only owned a dog once, and I was a cat person.
Oh no, I got a cat. The cat don't even like me. She lives here rent free, and I feed her, and she still eats me alive.
Where is Cat? We haven't seen Miss Cat tonight. She must be hibernating.
Hogan, where you at, Hogan? Well, good thing she's gone. That cat actually hates me. She lives beer cans. Oh, they're right. Highs. Oh,
damn. We have to wait till Scotty comes back so Uncle Dave could pop up.
Yeah.
We're taking over.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to interview Scotty again.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Oh, Scotty's got lost going to the bathroom. At his age, it could take a minute. He's got to talk it up.
Well, he fell asleep on the toilet.
Yeah, that's it. Old age.
Like, wait a minute. What, I got a show now? Hold on.
Yeah. Let me get comfortable here. Looks like we're gonna be here a minute. Lord.
I ain't got nothing to do. Why not?
Nah, hell, it's only 11:19. We're good.
I'll practice. This is my pre-show. I'll do a show. I'm actually going to live stream tomorrow, so why not?
What's going to be your topic tomorrow?
I don't do topics.
Well, lunch is not 7. Is Valerie still here? Valerie, you going on tomorrow at 7? Tomorrow is Saturday, right?
Oh, I'm not going to 7 o'clock in the morning. Hell no.
No, it's 7 o'clock at night. She should go to 7 o'clock at night.
Oh, no, I usually go nights, but I think tomorrow I'll go like 12 to 2 or something. I don't know.
Oh, it's free entertainment. Oh, yeah. Always free.
Lately I've been going.
It might not be good entertainment, but
like
it's free.
Or something. Don't tell, but I'm going to skip. I'm going to play hooky. No, I don't work on Saturdays anyway. They just want me to work, and I'm like, nah, I don't feel like it.
Yeah. Get a sickness at 5 o'clock on Friday.
Yeah, I'm sick and tired of work.
Pretty much.
I actually do have like a migraine going on, but
That's it. That's what I'm saying. When they would say work weekends, I get sick.
yes.
Hey, everybody.
We
Back
didn't even
from
mention
the bathroom.
I was able to take a little time, tell everybody good night. So,
Has anyone heard anything about KB? Have you heard anything about KB?
no, I haven't heard from him in about 3 days.
Nope.
So,
Is he missing?
no.
No, he's coming.
I did a show on, was it Thursday? So I haven't talked to him since, it was either Wednesday or Thursday.
Oh, I have to
haven't
go
talked
back
to him
and watch
since then.
that. I didn't know anybody was on the Facebook. Is kind of hard for me to watch. It glitches out too much.
You got a promo for Wicked Women for Sunday too, don't you, Scotty?
somewhere. I have not downloaded it. It's been so weird, crazy, weird, busy around here.
There's a
I
picture
have
of
not.
the butt.
I have
All I
not been
know.
able to donate it, or donate it, download it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I know they got it up. She's got it up on her Wicked Women channel if people want to go over and watch it.
I
I
already
might
saw
be
it.
able to, since it's a little more cash at the moment in here, I may be able to just go over here and find it and download it right here
Because I know,
and see if we can bring it up.
because she's with the Dark Huntress this weekend at a Comic-Con show.
Right.
Yeah, I'll talk to her.
We're talking about Wendy, folks.
Yeah, her and the Huntress is her '67 tribute car or Impala, the Huntress.
She got this up on Twitter.
Yeah, that thing was.
Oh no, is that Wendy? Somebody sent me something with a steampunk rocket lamp. That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's the link she had in there. Maybe she sent me that separately. So I'm looking for Wendy's link for her show.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Is this the new one?
Revenge.
Okay, I got to see if I can download this thing now.
I've seen it.
Pretty
There it is.
good, ain't it?
Download. Here it comes.
The first thing I
I got to
saw.
download it, then I got to upload it
What am I looking at?
into the show. So what is this the current one?
Oh, Cracker Barrel. Anita Palmer said KB is eating at Cracker Barrel.
Yeah,
Rainey going to jump in on that finally?
Wicked Women?
Yeah.
She's supposed to, but she hasn't been. She's had scout things every weekend. And so she was going to let Wendy know if she couldn't do it. But apparently she hasn't gotten a hold of Wendy, so I don't know what Rainey's plans are for it. I know she was very open to it and wanted to do it, but hasn't been able to join her yet.
Well, I think she should.
I think she should too. We'll tell her so.
I need advice from the Rainy.
Yes. What kind of advice would you like? I will pass it on. I am her conduit.
Let's see. How to wake up in the morning? No, I don't know.
Yes.
How to wake up with a hot lady next to me.
I'm going to see.
Glenn
if I
should write a
can
book on that.
Yeah. Pay for it.
Video file. I'm going to go here.
Cracker Barrel is, I don't know. I ate there once in the last 4 years. I don't know.
Hey, they're
I like the fried chicken.
the dumplings pretty good.
Yeah, it's always too crowded.
Well, look at that. It just starts automatically.
Yep.
Okay, folks. You ready? I'm going to put on our...
Did you do that?
What's that?
Did you create that?
I created the logo. Wendy did the video here.
Yep.
This is Wendy's video, and the logo is supposed to be Wendy, Valerie, and Rainey, kind of very loosely, in loose kind of comic book form. So,
What you mean loosely? What are you implying?
loosely. What are you talking
It's
about?
supposed to be loose here?
So here we go. Here is Wendy's video promoting Wicked Women for this weekend. And there it is, folks. That is Wendy's show.
Very well done. I love it.
Yeah.
Revenge Sex. Have
And
you
yes,
ever
I
done
did
it?
do all the male modeling for that. I apologize.
Oh, you did all the male modeling? Yeah.
Yeah, I had to quit doing that kind of work. I just said,
Well, she had
I
a
don't-
picture of me bum, but she didn't use it.
When you play it backwards, you hear all kinds of good stuff.
yeah.
That's right.
Red Lobster. You know, I was 45 years old before I ever tried lobster first time. I don't see paying $60 a plate for something that tastes like grill marks.
You know, that's the thing anymore. It's the prices have gotten just ridiculous on going out to eat, let alone a good place.
Yeah.
Red Lobster is a place I would call, and I don't mean this as anything negative, Anita. Red Lobster to me is like the, I don't know, the Denny's of seafood restaurants. It's quick and cheap, not expensive cheap, inexpensive cheap, the other kind of cheap. Yeah, it's fun to eat there. We used to eat there. I ate there a lot in the 80s. We'd go out with friends and go to Red Lobster. That was a night out.
place
So
has the
but
cheddar
that's back
biscuit?
when, it doesn't
The cheddars?
cost an arm and a leg, even for a
That's Red Lobster.
Red Lobster's a mid-range restaurant. I was spoiled when I went, and Dave, only you will know of this restaurant because it's local, downtown Minneapolis, McCormick and Schmick seafood
Yes.
place, right down. I think it's across from the Liffey or the local. Kieran Folliard's the local, and that was I took last time I was there. I took Lindsay there, and it cost me like $200 for dinner. And it was a nice place. Was it worth $200? Well, really, no, unless you make that kind of money. That's not a place you would frequent very often. It's not like, I get to go hang with the hoity-toity and spend $200 for a piece of fish and a glass of wine. No, that's. I don't understand the going out to a really expensive place.
I
Just
don't
so you
either.
can say I went to this expensive place for expensive food.
And my problem is, as a chef, I understand what their actual food costs are, and
Yes.
I know what the markup is, and I'm like, are you fucking
Holy
kidding me?
crap.
you
Yeah.
fucking high? How can you
Like I
charge that
talked
much?
about going to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse once with Zach and Bryn, my daughter Bryn and her husband Zach, her then-to-be husband Zach, and they took me out to ask me if I'd officiate at their wedding, and so we went out, and I'm looking at the prices of steak at Ruth's Chris down in North Carolina, and I'm like, holy shit. And I said, I look at Bryn and I go, what can I order here? And Zach goes, you get anything you want. I go, I said, I could have ordered a $250 steak. And it's like, is there any piece of meat? Now, Dave, you as a chef, maybe you have a different opinion. Is there a piece of meat that you can prepare where you'd say that is damn worth $250?
Maybe a piece of Japanese Wagyu beef, but even that I think is overrated.
Mm-hmm.
What is the beef they bury and they let it almost rot? Then they dig it up and cook it.
Well,
I don't know. I
got
wouldn't eat it.
the steak I got. I wanted to be, I wasn't going to go, oh, yeah, I'm getting the $250 steak then. No. So I ordered the $76 steak. And I thought that's because, the rest, that was almost the least expensive steak I could find on there. And it's the way it's prepped. And of course, it does come with croutons.
According to Emily Post, the proper way to deal with that is have the host order first.
Yeah.
And then you pick out something accordingly.
Well, I tend to, in those situations, a different vein of having the host order first. I go, well, what would you recommend I get? Which is what I asked Zach and Bryn. I said, well, I haven't eaten here before. They'd already told me get whatever you want. I'd say, what do you recommend? Since you're buying, and I didn't put it that way, but they were buying, and I said, what do you recommend I get? And Zach goes, why don't you try this one? And he named like $150 steak. And well, what about this one? Is this one good? And he said, yeah, and it was half that price. So I got that one. And he was kind of like, you don't have to get the cheapest thing on the menu. I said,
I still got to send me some alligator. I need alligator tail to put on my
Tastes
grill.
too swampy to me.
Uncultured.
Yeah.
That and frog's legs.
wonder why.
I can taste the swamp in it, and I don't care for that.
Oh, come on. I'm
There's
not
a way to get around that.
Yeah.
Just put
Yeah,
more
man.
stuff on the plate.
Yeah, beer batter. Yeah, beer batter. Drinking enough beer, you don't matter.
And
I'm sure it's all in how it's
Rooster
prepared, but the stuff I've had in the past, I've not been super excited about.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
soak it, buttermilk, and everything else, but most time, alligator does taste like swampy chicken.
It comes
And
from the
Anita
swamp.
Palmer, I don't mean to be insulting at all. Don't take it this way at all. But I look at Red Lobster as kind of the McDonald's of hamburgers. Red Lobster is the McDonald's of seafood.
Seafood.
It's kind of maybe not quite as bad, but I used to love to go.
It's very
to,
much in the same frame as
Red
Perkins or
Lobster to
Denny's
get
or something
my
like that.
fish and maybe crab and hush puppies. I
We
wanted
don't
the
have
hush
any of
puppies.
those. We don't
I
I
have
was
any.
spoiled because I got introduced to lobster out in Maine, and
Yeah.
so super fresh right off the boat. It's not very expensive.
Yeah. And by the way, McDonald's again is not cheap.
No.
You take my kids crave, McDonald's every fortnight, and so every couple of weeks, maybe once a month, I'll take them out to get they all want a Big Mac, and I cringe a little bit. And we go in there, and I like the French fries. Rainey and I'll get French fries to eat on the drive home, and get the kids their Big Mac meals. 3 kids Big Mac meals, you're spending $60 anymore. If you get fries and a drink and all of that, and 2 French fries for mom and dad and a drink, you're spending $60.
Somebody posted an old McDonald's ad the other day, and it was the whole family ordered. Dad ordered, the mom ordered, the little girl ordered. They had full meals, and I think desserts and the whole thing, and it was all under $10.
All under $10. And it's like I've said it before on this show when we're talking about this stuff. They had the ad when I was in high school, which is the mid to late 70s. The ad for McDonald's that said you can get a hamburger, a fry, order of fries, and a Coke, and still get change back from your dollar.
Yeah.
It was 95 cents.
The first hamburgers was what, a dime?
Something like
Something
that.
like
15
that.
cents, maybe.
Yeah,
That was, I know White Castles up here were always 11 cents.
it was-
For a long time. They're not anymore,
We
but
stopped
still,
at Chick-fil-A the
you
other
can
day.
still buy a sack of them cheaply.
Big Mac dipping sauce.
Yeah, 2 people at
They made
Chick-fil-A
some,
today
yeah.
was $54.
Some-
And so when I
This
see
sounds
that on
big.
The Simpsons once, one of the rare Simpsons episodes I ever caught over the last 20 years, Grandpa is working at the local McDonald's type restaurant, and
Krusty Burger.
some zitty-faced kid goes, "We're all out of the special sauce," and Grandpa goes, "Oh, I guess it's time to put another jar of mayonnaise in the sun."
Make it twangy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I can't believe how much Chick-fil-A had went up. Like I said, 2 of us was like $54 a day.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A. That was the kids' favorite thing. One of our favorite little family outings when we have money is to go up to Maplewood. Dave, you know where that is?
Yep.
Western suburb or eastern suburb of St. Paul. We'll go to Maplewood and go to Half Price Books, and everybody can buy 2 books. You can all have 2 books, and because it's half price books, and so they get 2 books, and then we go to Chick-fil-A across the road. And so everybody loves that. But you end up spending $50+ at Chick-fil-A the last time we went.
High quality.
Polynesian, yeah, the Polynesian and chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. It must be contagious.
I never go to Chick-fil-A. It's they have lines around the drive-through, around the building. You can't get into it anymore. I used to go
Really?
to it a lot.
It is the
Down
Lord.
here, down here they have the McDonald's, and then they have the Chick-fil-A right next to it. McDonald's is empty, and the Chick-fil-A, they have 3 lines, and they're all going all the way back.
Fried
up.
apple pies.
That's
Randall
all-
Flakes is fried apple pies.
Oh,
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
I don't
come
think they fry them anymore. I think they
Don't
bake
they?
them now.
out-
I
they-
liked those in the little box, and you know it's the little
They don't
Filled with
fry.
hot lava.
pie. I liked those. Now I haven't had one of those in years, decades
Damn it, Steph.
or more.
No, stuff is here.
Yeah. That's what that
Most
was
effective drive-through. They had at Chick-fil-A up here. They had 3 lanes in the one in Maplewood, and they had attendants outside with clipboards and headsets, and they would come up to your window and take your order and radio it in. And so it was pretty cool.
They do that Raising Cane's here.
Steph Cuervo Queen is here.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with Raising Cane's.
I've never tried that.
It's local.
kind of
A
food
guy
were
that
they?
founded it, he went to
Chicken
LSU.
tenders.
They were what?
And,
Oh, burgers?
Chicken tenders.
Chicken tenders.
It's just chicken fingers and
Raising Cane's.
coleslaw and lemonade and tea, and he did it as a college experiment when he was in college, and he just opened up a place, made a lot of money, and now he's kind of it's mostly a southern place, but he's
They have them
branching
up
out.
here. They have them up here.
I've
I
never
didn't know
seen
that.
one.
I didn't know they were out there.
What's that? Duds and Suds. That's where you need to go. Do your laundry and get drunk. That's more of a northern thing too. First time I ever went to the laundromat up there, they called it Duds and Suds.
I've been to a Duds and Suds before.
Hi, Steph. Oh, I have a doctor's report. I went to see my cardiologist yesterday, just my annual checkup. They want to see you once a year if you don't die in between appointments.
Do you still have a heart?
I still have a heart.
Can they prove it?
They could.
Okay.
So, why anyone can have a heart? Quote the wizard. And so my heart's fine as far as he can tell without doing anything internal. And all he saw was my A1C for my diabetes was way up last time. I had it at 11.3. And it should be down between the 6s and the 7s.
Yeah.
And so my own doc had said, well, we got to see what we can do to get your A1C down. We didn't change any meds. I just watched things a little. That was about 2 months ago. I was at 11.3. Today I went into my doc and had my blood drawn. I was 8.2.
Well, that's good.
So gone from
Not
11.3
great, but
to
it's getting
8.2.
better.
Yeah.
And so a couple points to go, and I'll be in that really nice stage. But today they couldn't find my blood. The both arms twice. A fifth time before they got blood to come
Which is
out.
why I question whether you have a heart. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
How can
I
they
said,
do that?
I said,
do
what,
it-
am I
they
out
do-
of blood? She said, maybe
You
you're
can't find a vein. They go, vein.
That's what she did. She
vein.
put the rubber thing around, like, I'm going to shoot up, baby.
I'm like, look, there's veins right there. Oh, we can't.
Ah,
shoot
there it is. Look at that big fat vein. She'd go,
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at
yeah,
your
yeah.
little thing. They always say the same thing.
I use this arm when I'm shooting up. Try that one.
You might feel a little prick, and I'd say, well, no, I don't feel any pricks at all, thank you. But she puts it in there, and then they start to pull it back slow. She's like, it's not doing anything. And she kept trying, and then she'd pull it out, push it back in, pull it out, push it back in.
That's
Now,
what he said.
I'm not impervious to pain, but it didn't really hurt. It was just uncomfortable. And she finally goes, well, let me try a different spot. Let me try the other arm. Pulls it out, and she grabs a little cotton swab to put on it, and it just starts going, just gushing out. She goes, well, there it is. She goes, well, now I can't take it that way. So she has to go poke the other arm. Same thing happened on the other arm. And they brought in a second person who came in and did this arm. Couldn't get in.
There's a really big vein you can tap into down here. Hold on.
Yeah. Hold on. I got a really big vein. You can drain this one. But
A blind person could find this one.
yeah. It's like Braille all over again. And so they finally got my blood. But and when they finally got it, I went, woohoo! I said, good job. I said, there it is. Oh, yeah. Well, the next thing you know, old Jed's a billionaire or mountaineer. Yeah. And so,
You know where Jay Clampett was originally from in the show?
from where?
Do you know where he is from in the show?
Oh, in the show?
Bug
Yeah.
tussle?
No.
Wasn't it Kentucky or something?
Arkansas. From the Ozarks in Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Let's go out in the cement pond.
Yeah,
Arkansas.
Buddy Essen. He's talking about that everybody had a heart. He was the original Tin Man.
Yeah.
And then he was allergic to the aluminum paint.
He got
that was put
sick
on it.
with the
Yep.
aluminum
Yeah.
oxide or something like that in the makeup.
He almost
They had to
died from
switch him
it.
out.
Oh yeah.
Are you in Arkansas, Sarah? I did not know that.
What?
She says my neck of the woods.
Arkansas.
You talking about Oz or Arkansas?
Kansas.
We don't know.
She's in Virginia.
Well, that's what I thought.
Yeah, because she's not too far.
No, she said.
What?
Okay, I misread
Why
something.
in hell would she be in Arkansas?
Arkansas. You know, the scariest thing I ever saw in America, they had a nuclear reactor in Arkansas when I was driving out 40. I said, please tell me they're not letting them people run nuclear reactors.
Steph says, well, today
I want to
was-
cancel Arkansas unless they can show me credentials.
Yeah.
They can't
Pier
possibly.
14 at Myrtle. But the other day I went with my uncle to the Murals Inlet on the pier.
You
You're
go north
talking
of
sea
Myrtle.
talk there to me.
Yeah.
Coastline talk.
Yeah, if you go north of Myrtle, you're talking about seafood. They had a place up in North Carolina, right across the state line. It was called Betty's Waterfront. Best catch of the day, and they finally shut it down during the pandemic. But we used to stop our hell. I drive 45 minutes out of my way to go eat there. Blackened salmon, blackened tilapia, anything blackened.
Nice. I like blackened fish.
It's oh yeah. I wanted to make my nose run. Put the lemon on it.
Yes. Yes, sir. I want it so blackened my nose runs while I eat.
Just put some hot sauce on it.
Sarah, I
Everything
thought
will
you were in
stop.
Virginia. I'm confused.
Where is she? No. Calabash.
Hmm.
Is that a food or a city? I likes me some
Both?
Calabash.
deep fried blackened calabash.
That actually sounds like a dish.
I know most of the restaurants in MB. What's MB? Manitoba?
Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach. Oh,
Myrtle Beach?
okay. Shows you what I know.
Probably.
They got a fish place down here. It's called Huck Fins. And when you leave there, they give you a bumper sticker with a catfish on it. It's actually
Nice.
good. Oh yeah. They can have what they call a bucket of catfish, and it's like a bottomless
Oh.
bucket. You go in and pay like $20, and you
Now
just
that actually sounds kind of. Is it deep fried or is it what?
oh yeah. Your cholesterol goes up just
Yum.
at the table.
I'm not a big fan of deep fried food. I got to tell you.
What's wrong
There's
with
some
you?
things I like deep fried, like egg rolls.
I wrote a
Those are
What's wrong with the Scottish in you?
Yeah, really, I could do Scottish eggs, deep fried eggs,
You know.
like mini haggis.
That's what killed me in Scotland. Is everything was deep fried.
Yeah,
You know, I had never heard of a Scottish
I
egg.
saw an Anthony. Oh, go ahead, Mike. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I was just thinking out loud.
There's a show that I found. It's called Pennyworth. It's about Alfred.
Yeah.
Batman Butler back
The
when he
channel's gone.
Oh,
It's
hello.
deleted though. It's
There you go.
That wasn't
There, I
me.
fell for it. I saw a name I thought I recognized,
Whoa.
NEXT, and that's who I thought that was. That's why I brought him in.
he said,
Well, thank you. You've pulled your stunt. You showed us a nude woman on my show.
You know what's funny?
Shock and horror, dumbass.
You know what's funny about that? This show is moving from YouTube anyway, so you didn't really do anything.
We wouldn't get canceled for that.
no.
No. Except
No,
these are the
you don't
people
get
that
canceled
would
for that.
show that, and then they would report your show for having nudity.
Yeah.
So,
Well, when you
Educational
monetize, they
purposes.
just take it out anyway.
Yeah. All they got to tag it is for an educational video.
there you go.
That's it.
And frankly, that was fairly tame for porn.
Yeah.
You didn't see a whole lot there, unless you were really looking for it.
I didn't even see any boobs.
Wasn't it Anthony Bourdain went to Scotland? He did a show in Scotland and showed. He says everything here is deep fried, and deep fried haggis. They had haggis on a stick. They had sheep or lamb on a stick. They had
Deep fried pasties, all kinds of stuff.
yeah.
Deep fried, deep fried, deep fried.
It's
Candy
not that I
bars,
can't
deep
eat
fried.
It's not it disgusts me. It's that after a while, deep fried I'm just ugh, deep fried. You know, my kids have to have everything to be deep fried. We get these bags of gluten-free chicken nuggets that Rainey likes, but she wants the kids to stay out of them because it's fast food for Rainey. She can throw them in the air fryer, and she's got spicy chicken that's breaded, deep fried, and pre-deep fried, and she just warms them up.
Hey.
And then the kids will eat them because it's like the kids, you buy chicken nuggets, Swanson chicken nuggets or whatever. Fast meals for the kids. Here you go. We're throwing in chicken nuggets. And they'll eat those, and those are like, $10 a bag. Rainey gets the gluten-free ones. They're like $22 a bag. So she's like, who ate all my chicken nuggets? I'm like, not me. So anyway.
Yeah, the air fryer is the new crock pot. The 20.
Yep.
I like it. You know that everybody. That's the reason I went back to tater tots and French fries here at the house because they taste just like they come out of a restaurant. But
I do like tater tots.
oh, tater tots.
Trailer trash
Fried
food.
taters. Got any mustard biscuits over there?
Rainey made some gluten-free mac and cheese today for herself for lunch. And she makes the pot of it. It's supposed to feed like 3 people, and there's like half of it left, and so I have some of it, and I'm just like, the cauliflower or rice-based pasta that's in those it's okay, but it gives a little different aftertaste, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna eat this.
Cheese is for.
Yeah.
So
Dump some Velveeta on it. That makes everything taste
that's
better.
it. Just melt down a little more Velveeta.
Put
Yeah.
bacon in it.
Hey, look, I'm a gourmet.
Yeah.
I've melted
Put
Velveeta.
bacon
Call it
in it.
liquid gold.
Bacon makes everything better.
So it's the anxiety freak. That's the one who said, hey, to me in private message. That's the one who
Yeah,
just
I saw
flashed
that.
up the nude. Dumbass.
Yeah. Then he said,
You think
something
we're
about-
afraid of nudes around here? Think we're afraid of naked women?
I'll
This,
flash my butt.
This
Hey,
quartet of men here? No.
you know what I
Even
like?
my listeners are like, oh, you got another dumbass trying to
Uh,
throw up a nude on your
They
show.
won't comment in the chat because they're scared.
Yeah, I always tell
trolls
people, I
are.
said, well, go comment in the chat. Get yourself vetted by the moderators.
yeah,
Oh.
because he came on and hollered, your channel was going. Your channel was going. I thought, you're late,
Oh, I
buddy.
do like onion rings. Well said.
He says,
Yeah,
"You're
the
late."
channel was just suspended for a week. Where have you been, freak?
Yeah.
We can do that without nudity.
You would have been a lot better saying choice words than showing a picture. Come on now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get on here and,
Have
talk
a debate.
about election fraud and see how quick you'll get my channel banned for a week.
He showed up late. He should have came on during coffee with KB. That was before the lunchtime.
Today?
No, the other day.
Oh.
Because I said if he wants to show pictures, he should.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, come on over to Morning Coffee with KB.
Yeah. Especially
So-
if me and Scotty's in the driver's seat.
Yep.
There's
Now,
no need for people to do that stuff, though.
No.
That just drives me nuts.
they just do it to wreak havoc. It's for the purpose of trying to get your show flagged
Yeah.
for no reason.
Yeah.
Mr. Baton in his mom's basement.
Yep.
And if YouTube ever came back to me for a little flash of something like that for 1.5 seconds, I'd say, look, popped up on my screen. It was somebody trying to, they've been pretty good about that with me.
They usually take it out on their own. They'll send you,
Yeah.
they won't bother. They'll just you won't even know. They'll just take it out.
Yeah, that's cool.
Bacon.
I was still perturbed that they put me on a ban for a week because of what Professor Bauer said, which was wholly innocuous. It was just talking about things that have been done. It wasn't even rendering a political opinion.
Yeah.
So
Well, Roger said it's a good thing
wait.
Carly was asleep or she would be trying to share her photos.
Roger.
go
Roger.
wake her up, Roger. Go wake her up.
Carly knows where to share the photos with.
Yeah, she knows we're safe gentlemen here. Yes, we are.
My hands are right here, I promise.
Yes. You go wake that young lady up and tell her to do the proper thing. So anyway, I'm going to start wrapping it up. It's 9 minutes to 11. I'm going to go work for somebody tomorrow, for a friend. She runs out here. She runs a backstage type of business where she's setting up for Chicago, the group Chicago tomorrow down at in Hastings. What's the casino down in Hastings?
I can't think.
Not Pine Island.
Turtle something?
No, it's not Mystic Lake or Mistake Lake, as some people call it. It's not.
It's where you donate your money.
It's not Grand Casino. It's the other one down there.
Isn't it something
it's
Turtle
named
or
after
Turtle?
the power plant has the same name down there. The nuclear power plant.
I don't know. Pine Ridge.
3 Mile Island Casino. No, it's damn it, I can't remember. But anyway, so I'm gone from 8:30 tomorrow. It could be all the way till 1 in the morning. So setting up. She said I don't have to do the heavy duty stuff. She just needs extra crew. And she called Rainey and I, wanted Rainey and I to come and do it with her. It's her company. And so going to go do that tomorrow. Rainey can't do it. She's got a scouts thing. But
bring the
I'm
boy.
Go do it and earn a couple $100 for the day. So there you go. We could go to Red Lobster afterwards.
There ain't a Red Lobster around here.
I'm teasing you now. I'd like to. You know what Rainey likes for a. It's not a cheap restaurant financially anymore, but it's that same middle grade as Red Lobster. She loves going to Outback Steakhouse.
Oh yeah.
So you can get a pretty decent steak and stuff for.
I like Texas Roadhouse better.
Texas Roadhouse, I like. She's got to go where it's all gluten, where they got gluten-free stuff though.
Don't they have gluten? What's gluten at the?
I have no idea anymore. She had to order something there that was different.
I know.
But it's been a while since we've been there too.
The benefit of doing what I do for
there's a great little place in Stillwater, Dave. It's one of those. It's those bars that you see in the, like the, for lack of a better way to put it, the yuppie shows and the yuppie movies. It's like if you ever watched 30-something back in the day. The kind of little bars and taverns they'd go into, very eclectic, couples, woodwork, candlelight or low light, and great food and wine and drink, and a nice bar. And it's a small place. It's over in Stillwater, and Rainey and I went there once, and it was really nice. And they had a exquisite gluten-free menu, which I don't do gluten-free, but they had stuff. Rainey was just like in hog heaven there. So that was pretty cool.
Well, you need to take her there more often.
Yeah, I do. It costs money to go out.
Yeah. Better for her than Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm. Thank God Rainey can be appeased with Taco Bell. Hey, honey, you want a taco? And she'll go, do I? And so it's out for tacos.
2 for $20, 2 for $25.
Let's see. I like Chili's or Applebee's. Oh, they're 2 for $20 or they're 2 for $25 dinner.
That reminds you when you guys were first dating. Scotty, do you want a taco? Do I?
Yeah, you buy 2 soft drinks and you tack on another almost $10. It becomes a $35 meal.
Yep.
Decent deal still. Yeah, we'll have to look at that. Applebee's. I don't do Applebee's or Chili's and stuff like that. I just haven't gone to those for years. Fridays, we used to do TGI Fridays a lot.
Fuddruckers. Yeah, Fuddruckers.
Fuddruckers. That was a fun place.
I used to go there all the time.
Yeah, Five Guys.
Fuddruckers was pretty cool.
On my line.
But that's what we did for business. When I worked in the ad agencies, a bunch of us say, hey, we're going to Fuddruckers. Who wants to come for lunch? So that's what I see Fuddruckers. That's not like I'm going to take my wife out for a nice date, dress up and go out on a nice date. That's one thing. If I want to take Rainey out and say go to a movie, Fuddruckers is fine. Fuddruckers in a movie, something like that. But Fuddruckers starts to, I get the aftertaste in my mouth an hour after I've eaten, sitting in the theater and you burp. You're burping up. It tastes like McDonald's. So it's like it's just glorified
hamburger.
McDonald's. Yeah, they got rid of our steak and shake.
Now I do like Culver's. I like the way they marinate and prep their meat for their burgers. It's got a different taste to it.
It's all the butter.
Tell them, Phil,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
we
butter.
particular
Yeah,
about our
it's
meat, ain't
butter.
we? Ain't that what he said in the movie? Bring me a bottle of something or another, take a piece of it, cut it off, chunk it on the plate, and just bring it to me. Cowboy way.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey. And you ain't saw that movie where they come in and he order. He said, would you like a bottle of something? He said, yeah, bring me a bottle of something or another. He says,
Bring me a bottle of something or other.
He said, knock its horns off, wipe its dirty old ass, and chuck me a piece of it on the plate.
Yeah, good cheese curds at Culver's, says Roger
So,
Rabbit.
Chuck E.
Yes,
Yep.
Chuck E. Cheese, you want.
my kids love the cheese curds at Culver's.
Of course they do, because they're fried.
And my girls love Uncle Dave taking them out to Chinese. So,
Yep.
which is right around the corner from Culver's.
I never heard of any of those places before.
No.
I'm going to have to wrestle me up a fiddle player, says Steph, Cuervo
Yeah.
Queen. So,
So
Put them on top of her walker.
Sir Yusuf left. All right. Guys, as I started to say 6 minutes ago,
Yep.
I'm going to call it. So, everybody have a good night. Guys, thanks for joining me here in the captain's cabin.
Good night, gentlemen.
See you later, King Troll, field guy.
Yeah.
No more nudie pictures.
No.
Michael, good to see you, brother.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to send you on your way. And Uncle Dave, good to see your icon tonight.
Good to see you tonight.
And I will talk to you very soon.
Give the kids and the wife a hug for me.
I will
Talk to you
do.
later.
Bye. And it says there's a Scotty in here waiting in the wings. That ain't me. Scotty, if you're a different Scotty, go over into the chat room, introduce yourself, and might let you in. But until then, folks, thanks for letting me talk a bit about the Patreon. It's kind of a half of the show tonight was kind of business, talking about that stuff. I ask you, come on over. If you like the show, come on over to the Patreon site. And I did not provide the link. Let me provide it for you. You can go take a look at it and see if you'd like to do this. Here's the link. And this is to help the show grow. And when I'm asking you to come and be a patron, that's so you can, I can start finding ways to create a little more revenue so we can do a better show and more of it. And remember, we went from doing 5 shows a week to doing 3 shows a week because it was just too time consuming. Then we added Robertson, so we were back up to 4. We've got Sunday that we do, which is not one of the actual shows, and that's that gives you what is that? 5 shows a week again. But we're going to do definitely 3 shows a week and all kinds of other little tidbits and things up over on the Patreon, and it costs you $4 a month. And over on YouTube, we were charging $4.99, or it was actually 99 cents, $4.99, and $14.99 were our different levels. And so the YouTube will still be there. But if you want to put your money somewhere, put it into the Patreon, spread the word over there. The more followers we get that join the Patreon page, the more we can do and the better we can do. So go check it out. There's not much there yet. I'm starting to upload old videos, but by next week, we'll be doing the broadcast from there. And you'll be able to see the broadcast only if you're a member. You'll see free clips on the Patreon, but you won't get to see the whole episodes unless you become a member. And the price of that membership, about the same, if not less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks once a month. So, and what do you get out of that? You get a minimum of 12 new episodes a month for that $4 to $5. We'll call it 5 because it's at that right now. $5 a month. What is that? What's 12 divided by 5? I don't know. What is that? I can't do math that swift in my head. Hey Siri, what's 12 divided by? No, belay that. What is $5 divided by 12? Is that 60 cents?
The answer is approximately 42 cents.
42 cents. So, what you're buying over there by supporting the Patreon, if there's a minimum of 12 episodes, 12 to 15 new episodes a month over on the Patreon, and you're paying $5 a month, that's going to cost you 42 cents an episode. And all that does, it's not like you can't have what I'm offering unless you pay for it. That's a no. I'm making it this way so we can entice people to come and put money into the show, help build the revenue stream so we can do a better job here. And if you don't want to have to pay, you might be one of those that says, I like your show, but sayonara, I'm going to go somewhere else where it's free. I hope you like the show enough to support it. So it's $4 over there. $4. I keep saying 4 and 5. It's at 5 right now, which was automatic. I got to go in and change it to $4. And that's what it's going to be. So that's it. That's all I got. Get me up to 10,000 followers, and that'd be awfully nice. And we could do some neat stuff with this show. We could treat it like a real show. We could get new cameras. We could get the studio slicked up. We could go take trips and do things for new videos and things like that. So it'd be awfully cool to be able to do that. So that's the goal, to make a better show. So thank you in advance. Go on over there. The link I pasted in there. Go to the Patreon site, and you can see you might have to copy it and paste it out of the chat room, but you can go on over and join the Patreon. So thank you very much, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here for the show. Thanks for being here for the Captain's Cabin. We'll be back on, if all goes well, Sunday morning. We should be able to do Sunday morning. I'm doing that Chicago concert tomorrow night with the road crew. And then I've got to work at the night shift on Sunday night. So we'll see how Sunday morning goes. It should be okay. So we'll be fine. So thank you for being here. You all have a good night. Live long and prosper.